Okay, what we're going to do is have another look at Google Forms. Google Forms is brilliant for surveys and tests and responses from various people, and everything is captured into a spreadsheet. But I'm going to look at some of the question types. So we'll click on Create. We want to create a form. The screen loads up, and generally what we do first is we click on the title of the form. I'll call it example 2, and I'm going to stay with the default theme, but obviously you can change the theme by clicking on it. Right, the kind of questions we have, so this is going to be text, and I'm actually going to give the question a title of text, and you'll see why in a minute. Help text can be really useful, but text simply means writing. So I'll make it a required question, add that first question, and then let's try the second question type, paragraph text. Now you will see a difference, because what you could do is you can type a whole paragraph of text and the box you're presented with is much bigger. Help text I won't bother with, we'll add that as an item. Then the third question type, multiple choice. Now the subtlety of multiple choice is that when you're presented with the question you can only select one answer. So let's go for example A, B, and as we click in the box another empty box is presented. So in this example we've got A, B, C, D, and the user will only be able to choose one. Again, we'll add that item, and then slightly differently we'll go for check boxes. So the difference is that with check boxes the user, the responder, can tick as many as they like. Let's go for, see if you can spot this pattern. I'm sure you can, especially if you're into your touch typing. So that's what checkboxes will look like. Now we'll go on to choose from a list, and this is similar to checkboxes, but it's a little bit different and it makes people think differently as well. Let's just add some options there and add that item, choose from a list. And then we're going to have scale. So this is generally, do you like something on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's make it a scale of 1 to 8, for example, where 1 is the lowest, 8 is the highest. Add an item. Another question, we're going to have a grid. The grid is interesting, and you'll see why. We could have row 1, row 2, row 3, column 1, column 2, and when you see how it's presented you might get some ideas as to how you might use it. Add item, almost there. Date, well, this really just lets you enter a date, but that could be useful in terms of validation, and you can decide whether you want to include the time as well. I'm going to add that. And finally time. Let's just move things around a bit. Time, again, validation if you want people to enter a time. Now I'm going to click on done, and I'm going to look here because I didn't add in any text for this question. So we can always edit, and this is what's really nice. And this was choose from a list. What's also nice is that we can click and drag questions to move them around. So what have we got? View live form. There's your standard text. It could be a name. Paragraph, well, it could be a lot of text. For example, explain why you like this particular option. Multiple choice. As you can see, you can only choose one of them. Alternatively, with checkboxes, you can check, click, tick as many as you like. Choose from a list. I'll go for C. I've changed my mind. I want to go for D. Again, I can only choose one. And a scale, and these annotations are really useful because people do get confused. So where perhaps 8 is the highest, I'll click on a 7, or no, I've changed my mind, I'll go for 6. A grid, some interesting validation, you can see what's happening. So you can't click every circle. A date, well, you can just choose from a calendar, that's nice. Alternatively, you can type it in. And a time, let's say it's about 7 in the morning, click, click, click. And it won't be happy until I put in the number of minutes, and then I can submit, and all that information has been placed into a spreadsheet. So some really useful options, Google Forms.